There it is. I mean, I almost can hear the laughing pumpkin subject. I can almost hear that.
You did that very well.
Thank you. I've heard it a few times.
Yes, so have I.
Not as many as you, though. Hey, welcome into Carpooling with Ben, folks. As we continue with our social distancing virtual editions, I brought to you a guest who wanted to work with animals, and his parents wanted him to be a doctor, so he merged the best of both worlds. Dr. Jeremy Goodman of the Roger Williams Park Zoo and Carousel Village and everything else that's going over there. Dr. J, good morning, and good to see you.
Good morning. It's great to see you too.
Your story is quite impressive. If you can give us the quick version for those who haven't met you or haven't seen past episodes, I'm not kidding. You wanted to work with animals, and you wanted to work in the zoo.
That's right. Ever since I was at least 2 years old, ever since my parents could remember, all I ever wanted to do was own a zoo or run a zoo. And, fortunately, my parents encouraged me to follow my dreams, and they wanted to make sure I had a good backup plan. So hence veterinary school, but it all worked out, and I literally am living the dream.
You are. And even as we go through the season, where we've had to adjust and maybe zoo visits look a little different than they have in the past. Nonetheless, the animals are still there. The educational value is still there. The great times are still there. How are things going at the zoo?
It's been rough for us, like it has been for everybody. Being closed during our busiest season in April, when we normally have school vacation. Right. It's our busiest week of the year. And a lot of people don't realize that the zoo is a not-for-profit. We're a 501c3, and being a very seasonal attraction, we only actually make money 6 months out of the year. So to be hit in our busy season was just really, really tough. I mean, thank God our staff has been healthy. The animals have been good. People have been very generous, but it's been very difficult for the zoo. To be quite honest, but we will get through this.
Sure. Perhaps the elephants won't be able to pick up one of those new Louis Vuitton masks. Maybe they go for the normal masks. I'm curious, as a doctor, a veterinarian, does COVID affect, is it transmittable? Am I asking the right question? Could one of the animals at the zoo, could they contract it, and could it have the same effects? Or is it, I'm not that bright, so I don't know. That's why I asked.
So that's a great question. There has been only one documented zoo case of an animal picking up COVID, and that was a tiger at the Bronx Zoo. There's only been a handful of documented animal cases in pet dogs. Maybe I think there might have been one other pet cat, but if you think about it, how many millions of people have been affected, and you can probably count, on one hand, how many animals have been clinically affected by it. It definitely can go to animals in very rare cases, but obviously, we're surrounded by nature and animals, and birds aren't dropping from the sky, and squirrels aren't, dying of COVID. So, it seems to be that overall animals are pretty resistant to it.
That's great, and it's good news for obviously you, your staff, and all the work that everybody does over there. And so when folks are coming to visit, just because the animals appear to be more resistant, we still have to take care of our fellow zoo guests that we're there in attendance with. So are we talking the same kind of policies, keeping some distance, wearing a mask while we're there?
Absolutely. Those are the golden rules to live by right now. And everybody visiting the zoo must wear a mask. Everyone must social distance. We have capacity limits that are set by the state. So in order to ensure that we don't exceed those, we went to time ticketing this year. So everybody has to reserve a slot before they come to the zoo. You can't just show up. Okay. So that's definitely been different. And we were finally just able to open our rainforest building. That was one of the last things that we've opened because of capacity issues, but we found a way to make that work. And the one animal that we are a little bit more concerned about are primates potentially catching it, since they're much closer to people. So we definitely enforce a couple extra rules over in the rainforest building, but overall, the other big thing is we went to a one-way flow to help keep traffic moving along, so people aren't, backtracking and crossing paths and whatnot. So, all those things have really, really helped. And, other than that, it's the same great zoo visit. You get to see your favorite animals. A lot of people even told us that they enjoyed it even better because it forced them to go see parts of the zoo that they normally skip. So they got to see some animals that they normally wouldn't have. So it's still been a great experience. All of our guests have told us how safe they feel, and that what a great job we've been doing. So we're very, very happy with that. But I think still there's a lot of people out there who are just afraid to come out, and so our numbers definitely are still way down.
Well, the state of Rhode Island is pushing this whole initiative, take it outside, RI, and that you guys, you men and women over there, the staff, just everybody, the volunteers at the zoo, really give quite the experience for taking it outside over there. And still, it's one of the greatest values out there is family membership. And this is a great time to hop on if you're not, folks, but also if you want to make a donation or a regular recurring donation, those opportunities are also available and right now greatly needed.
Sure. If you go to our website, rwpzoo.org, you can join to become a member. You can donate to our emergency fund. Lots of different ways to really help out. We have our Zubilee coming up, and our auction is going on right now. So please get on there and bid on some items. All of that helps the zoo. Every membership sold helps the zoo. Every ticket sold helps the zoo. So, and like you said, membership is the best buy in town. It is something that members have a lot of different perks, and our members are really our loyal, most loyal guests, and they've really been sticking, through this whole thing with us, despite the closure and whatnot. So, if you can join and become a member, not only do you get unlimited visits, daytime visits to the zoo, you're really helping us, get through this as well.
You told me one of the first times I met you when you came here. How long have you been here now? You've been here, what, 7 or 8 years?
A little over 7 years.
Yeah. I remember one of the first things you told me. You said, Ben, the zoo memberships are great because there's no two zoo visits that are the same. You'll never have the same visit twice because the animals, they react differently. They're in different behaviors. They're in different forms. So it's always a phenomenal educational opportunity for any age,
That's right. Depending on what season you come, I mean, some animals are more active. So it really, no two visits are alike. And that's why it's so great. And we have loyal members who literally, come every single week throughout the year. So, and you think about that, if you come every single week, I think it comes out to, what is it, like 50 cents a visit or something like that. So definitely a great buy.
That absolutely is. All right. I'm going to give you the opportunity to switch your background because we're going to talk about something that's been going on for a number of years. Ladies and gentlemen, JackOLantern Spectacular 2020. It's not going away. It's just going to be different. And there it is. I mean, I almost can hear the laughing pumpkin Saja. I can almost hear that.
You did that very well.
Thank you. I've heard it a few times.
Yes, so have I.
Not as many as you, though. This is going to be exciting. Something completely different. Tickets are already on sale for the experience. Talk to me what the experience is this year.
So not only did COVID affect our daytime attendance, it really affected all of our major fundraisers as well. I'd mentioned Zubilee earlier. We're doing that virtually this year. We had Brew in a Box instead of Brew at the Zoo. So we're recreating everything. And this year for JackOLanterns, the JackOLantern Spectacular, we came up with a drive-thru concept.
Okay.
So people all stay in their cars, and obviously we couldn't do it around the pond like we normally do. So we came up with a new route right down the middle of the zoo. So it'll be pretty cool. You get to drive right down the middle of the zoo path, right past the elephants and giraffes, and how many people get a drive through the zoo? I mean, that's cool. And you'll be surrounded by just as many pumpkins, theme this year is special places, and it really is going to be a very unique and special show. Not only is it a big fundraiser, so we had to find a way to try to generate that revenue, but so many people were asking us, are you going to be able to do it? Are you going to be able to do it? We haven't missed a show. We've come for, every year for the last 12 years, and we definitely did not want to let people down. And, the zoo is actually one of the few places, that's the family right now, other than the beach or out to a park or something like that. So this is a really great concept, and we think it'll be really good for a number of reasons as well. We've been told before by some of our senior guests that it's really tough to walk through. It's a long walk for them, so they won't have a walk this year. They'll be able to drive right through. Same thing as far as the weather. If the weather's a little inclement, you're in your car, nice and toasty, and we'll still have lots of food and beverages, hot cocoa, all sorts of gifts to buy in the retail. But it'll be a different experience, but it'll be special and magical nonetheless.
That is awesome. I'm so glad you were able to find a way to make that work, because that is really, it's become such a tradition. People literally in the past have traveled from all around the world to come experience it. Maybe you won't see as wide a diverse crowd, but nonetheless, folks, this is the year to check it out, support the zoo when they need it the most, and keep supporting the great work that's happening over there. Doc, I mean, I'm sorry to hear that, you weren't able to have the Rainforest building open for a portion of the summer, but all you really had to do, we had a hot one, so all you really had to do was stand outside. You still had those effects, it almost felt like.
Oh, yeah. It was funny because in the winter, I go into the rainforest and pretend I'm in a tropical paradise. This past summer, I went into the rainforest to cool down.
Just set up a little mobile desk there with your laptop, get your emails done, and then go back out and get to work. Well, Doc, our hats off to you and the entire staff and volunteers and everybody over there at the Roger Williams Park Zoo and Carousel Village. Folks, it's one of the gems we have here in southern New England, in Rhode Island, and they need your support. So this is the perfect time to come on out. Doc, I will let you go. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me, and I look forward to seeing you at the zoo real soon.
Sounds great. Take care.